Anxiety and Depression Cure. Simple workbook for anxiety relief. Stop worrying and overcome depression fast. Written by Charlie Mason. Narrated by Dr. Michelle Carabache. Introduction. Thank you for purchasing Anxiety and Depression Cure. Simple workbook for anxiety relief. Stop worrying and overcome depression fast. If you're reading this, it is most likely because you or someone you know is going through a tough time. By reading this book, you will gain a better understanding of how depression and anxiety work, how one can lead to the other, and how painful it can be to deal with both of these conditions. When left untreated, both anxiety and depression can have devastating effects on those who suffer from these conditions. In some of the worst cases, people who have suffered from these conditions have gone as far as taking their own lives. So, if you or someone you know is going through anything like this book will provide you with the information you need in order to seek help and get the right treatment. So, treatment will not only stop these conditions from worsening, but it will also help reverse its effects. Unfortunately, many folks who suffer from anxiety and depression are left to suffer in silence. Often, those afflicted by these conditions are afraid to speak up and ask for help. Other times, the symptoms are so mild that they go undetected. That's why these conditions are almost never caught in their early stages. In fact, seemingly bright and confident individuals are carrying this burden around with them. Even the strongest people you know may be dealing with these conditions. Once, I heard a brilliant quote that said, "Depression sets in when you have been strong for too long." Those were words that I could certainly identify with. They clearly sum up what most sufferers go through in their daily lives. As such, this book is intended for those strong and brave people who are going through this themselves, or for those caring people that fear for the safety and health of someone they know. In either case, this book provides the guidelines for you to find the right course of action in dealing with anxiety and depression. The first step is to acknowledge that you need help, or, in any event, to create a safe environment where the person you are concerned about can feel safe to open up. When that someone opens up, it might be messy, but they will have taken that critical first step on the path to recovery. If this is you, one of those who are suffering in silence, then admitting you need help is hardly a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you are mature enough to understand that you have come to a point where you cannot go at it alone anymore. And so, you are now ready to take that first step on the path to recovery. In this book, we are going to talk about the basics of anxiety and depression, what they are, and how to spot them. This is very important, since being able to recognize the warning signs early on can help save the life of a sufferer. I mean it, literally. When you are able to recognize the early warning signs, you will be able to seek treatment that will help you cope with the stress you are dealing with. That will cut out any chance of stress festering away until it becomes anxiety and eventually leads to depression. Also, we will cover the ways in which you can get diagnosed for depression and the treatment options available to you or the person you are concerned about. Next, we will look into ways which you can address anxiety and depression from home. That way, you can deal with the onset of any symptoms as you spot them and before they become a full-blown situation. The most important thing to keep in mind on this journey is that you are not alone. Even if there is no one around you and you are reading this on the verge
Sample complete. Ready to continue?